All right, my name is Jake Adams. I did my project on Amazon. First, company background. Jeff Bezos founded the company on July 5th, 1994. He wanted to name it Relentless or Cadabra, but he eventually settled on Amazon because it's the largest river in the world. He found it with selling books online, and they fell through hard times throughout 2001. So that's kind of when he came up with an idea to continue to expand and create new products, which has really never stopped ever since that happened. The mission statement is to be the most customer-centric company where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online and endeavor to offer customers the lowest possible prices. Textbook states that these need to find who they are, their market, and their philosophy, which basically is them offering everything from A to Z at the lowest possible prices, all online. Their business model is to offer everything from A to Z at the lowest possible prices. They rely on convenience of online shopping, which I already alluded to, and they rely on large amounts of sales rather than profit margins to basically make a profit for their company. Their value chain analysis, the key is the low cost, or the key to a low cost is making adjustments to their value chain. They want this to be the least amount of processes as possible, which kind of, obviously means making this list a little bit shorter, dealing with inventories, things like that. Right now they're looking at innovating or bringing in a new third-party delivery service. As far as they just want to do their own delivery service, so they're working on kind of implementing that right now, and it should hopefully be ready in early 2019. Their competitive strategy again is to be a low-cost provider. One of the major things they saw was using $7.2 million in marketing strategies, basically just to drive up demand. Offering thousands of products at the lowest possible prices with convenience of online shopping basically allows for them to continue to increase their demands, and a lot of people obviously find that very, very interesting. So basically just continue to increase that type of stuff, should be able to see them increase Amazon's code of ethics is employees should always act lawfully, ethically, in the best interest of Amazon. As I did research on them, there's been a lot of talk about a toxic work environment. There's a story about a female worker who had a miscarriage and was expected to go on a business trip the very next day. She ended up doing it just by being pressured by her managers and bosses. Factory workers, there's one story about them being pressured into peeing in bottles instead of actually going up to the restroom on the second floor because they didn't want to waste time. And there's also been stories that they can't talk to each other or sit down at all in their factories. That's obviously an issue for a company like Amazon that relies so heavily on their factory workers. Another issue is dealing with privacy and their new speaker, Alexa, that kind of deals with AI technology in houses. Look at their 5 forces. The competitor rivalry is strong. They have a bunch of competitors that deal with Apple, Netflix, those types of companies. Bargaining power of buyers that's weak. You can't really haggle with them. Bargaining power of suppliers, that's moderate. Just dealing with so many different industries. They rely heavily on authors and dealing with streaming to an Amazon Prime. They rely on networks to kind of plug out new television shows from the stream, and then they also kind of run their own ship with that as well. So threat of substitutes, that's strong. Just basically anything you do on Amazon, you can do somewhere else, and you can substitute that. Threat of new entrants, that's weak. To do what Amazon does as far as the online shopping goes, it's really, really difficult. Their strategic group map, I basically compared number of products compared to number of sales. It's probably tough to see, but Walmart is down here, Amazon is up here with a bunch of products, and then we have Target and Best Buy. Basically, just wanted to kind of show how unique Amazon is with how many products they offer and how it compares with their sales. Their sales are continuing to grow and hopefully surpass Walmart in the future based on their forecasted numbers. Their EFE, just looking at this, they have a 2.54, which basically means they're pretty average. They probably need to do a better job with their external focuses. Looking at opportunity number 5 there, 79% of Americans shop online. Being such an online heavy store, that's something they really need to take advantage of. So hopefully with EFE, they need to kind of focus on these areas and do a little bit better job in this department. Their SWOT matrix, looking at it, strength and opportunity. Amazon Prime has helped lead to unmatched brand recognition. One of the things that Amazon's done with Amazon Prime is implemented a service where people can stream stuff online while also getting free delivery services with Amazon Prime. That's kind of made people really flock to Amazon and utilize all their services and continue to shop there, which has been pretty unique. So that's definitely one of the cool things that they do. Looking at the CPM, this has Amazon rated as a 3.47, Walmart was a 3.04, and Target is a 2.47. This basically just shows that Amazon's leading the pack as far as the competition goes. Walmart's pretty close behind, especially with sales. They usually lead in sales, but I think one thing that's really set Amazon apart over these past even couple of years is their research and development, which rated out as a 4 and a 0.36 compared to Walmart's 2 and 0.18, and also their online shopping too. People are relying more on the convenience of online shopping. I think that in the future they're expecting it to go in that direction. Amazon's IFE, they rated as a 2.73. That places them pretty above average. A 3.0 would have been fantastic to get, but they still have some areas to improve upon. Amazon Prime, as already mentioned, is a really big strength for them. It's strength number 4. And number 9 too, the strong leadership by Jeff Bezos as far as what Amazon does. Weaknesses kind of include small profit margins, something that they're trying to work on, which I'll get into a little bit later. And then long-term debt. With all the expansion that they do, they take out a lot of money in working capital. Their integration strategy is basically find what the consumer desires. They rely heavily on vertical integration to kind of get closer to what the consumer wants. This includes creating their own products like Alexa, which I kind of talked about earlier. And the struggles are dealing with that. And also their own delivery service, which I talked about earlier as well. Their BCG, we have retail, grocery sales, and then there's a smaller one in here for their online streaming, which is kind of a competitor with Netflix. They're all stars right now just because of the demand that they bring and also the growth that they've had over a couple of years. Amazon obviously hopes that this moves into cash cows eventually. There's some concern over moving into question mark just because of how quickly things are growing with Amazon, but something that they're obviously dealing with right now. The space matrix, this just shows that Walmart and Amazon are very competitive, or they're very aggressive, and then Target is a competitive company. This just shows that Amazon and Walmart can continue to expand and grow, and Target's trying to basically stay right behind them. And this kind of shows the numbers behind that. Amazon has a strong industry position with 5.0. The stability is obviously maybe a little bit of an issue, negative 4.2, but their financial position is pretty strong at 6.4. So just dealing with competitive nature of their field and what they're doing is probably a big struggle for what Amazon's trying to accomplish. The QSPM, this just shows low cost between differentiation. What this showed was differentiation and low cost both came out very strong. Differentiation came out at 3.64. Low cost came out at 3.43. This just tells us that, they both are strong for them, but differentiation should always take the lead as far as when Amazon's making decisions about what to do. But if they're able to continue to do the low prices as well. Just continuing in that direction with their strengths and weaknesses as well. Their financials, this shows operating profit margin. This is something I've kind of alluded to earlier. They're operating at 2.04% in 2017, which is obviously very low. The next biggest competitor is right around 14% with Walmart. And then their current ratio is a 1.04, which basically shows that they don't want too much debt to kind of interfere with liabilities compared to assets. So they hover right around 1.04 over the past 3 years, and it looks like they continue to do that. Their stock chart was basically shows that they've continued to grow over the past 4 to 5 years. Strategic performance, this just tells us that they've held 33% of all U.S. e-commerce sales and 50% of all retail sales. They're just continuing to hopefully exceed those expectations. Recommendations, obviously fix the ethical issues within the company, drive up profit margins, and stream sporting events. Use the AI systems that they have in place to drive up, watching or streaming options with baseball, football, basketball, those types of things. Kind of bring a different environment to what they're already doing. Forecasted ratios, again, they're going to operate probably at a low profit margin in 2018, but it has gone up about 0.07%. Current ratio is right about the same area, and the working capital is also going up. They're still expecting to expand, obviously, and working in different areas. So using working capital and a lot of their growth to help continue those areas. The strategy review and evaluation, basically you just want to look at what they're doing internally and externally and see if there's any changes with the strategy evaluation assessment, which Amazon is not. And then you want to see has the company continue to expand, which Amazon clearly has. It's been a major focus of what they're doing. The basic goal is to increase profit margins and product expansion, which they've continued to do throughout the years. Again, wrapping everything up, just Amazon needs to continue to expand, become more ethical with their decision, especially Jeff Bezos being a strong CEO. He needs to make a little bit better decisions as far as ethical issues go, and then increasing profit margins. If they're able to do those 3 things, I think you'll probably see Amazon take over a large market of retail sales and basically everything else.